Hello everybody, welcome to another video, and in this one I am going to be trying this new energy drink called Prime from Logan Paul and KSI. Those are the two who made it. I have no idea how much of the design of this product and the effort in making it was from them specifically and how much was from people hired. I genuinely have no idea, but yet they claim to be the creators of this. And so we will take them at their word. Now, I've never been a fan of Logan Paul or KSI. Let's face it, I'm a 31-year-old man. I'm not exactly their target demographic. Personally, I have issues with how they target their target demographic. But that's neither here nor there. This isn't a video about them. This isn't going to be a rant. I've never been a fan, but to each their own. A lot of people, a lot of younger people, are fans, and they have been going mental trying to get this drink. It's come out in the UK, which is where I hail from, and it is insanely difficult to actually get this here in the UK because it's released exclusively in Asda stores at the moment, and if you try to go into an Asda store and get one, you will be very, very lucky to find any actually available. I did have an advantage when getting one for myself because, for those of you who don't know, I actually work in an Asda store, so I was able to get the drop on that. And again, I'm not a fan of the creators of this, and I was never really that bothered about it when it was first a thing. It never really intrigued me that much, but with how difficult it has been for people to get their hands on this, I decided to get myself one and try it out purely based on the fact that I may not actually get another chance to do this with how quickly they keep going every time we have any in stock. Now, this particular Prime that I have with me is blue raspberry flavour. Not necessarily the flavour I would have picked. There are other flavours available. Whenever we have them in our specific store, it always tends to be one flavour at a time, so you don't really get the option to choose. When I was able to grab a hold of a Prime, this was the flavour that they had, and so it's the flavour that I now have. Other flavours available include Metamoon. I have no idea what that is. It's a clear colour. Yeah, I genuinely do not know what that would taste like. They give no description on here of what it's actually supposed to be, and this is their official website. Ice Pop. Again, I don't know what that means. The blue raspberry, which is the one that I have. Tropical Punch. Lemon Lime, which is probably the flavour I would have chosen because I am a big citrus fan. Grape, which again is another one that I would have been okay with. I'm not necessarily not okay with blue raspberry. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. But if I was to rank them in order of what I would have chosen for myself and my own personal tastes, lemon lime would have been at the top. Blue raspberry would have been lower down than grape. Between grape and lemon and lime would be the final flavour on the list, which is orange. Orange, very standard, typical flavour for any kind of soft drink here in the UK. It is one of our defaults and is a very nice flavour. So yeah, next would probably be the blue raspberry, and then below that would be the tropical, below that Ice Pop, and below that Metamoon. And those two are at the bottom purely because I don't know what the fuck they are, so I wouldn't want to take the risk. But anyway, blue raspberry Prime, no artificial flavourings. Again, I'll take them at their word for that. One bottle equals one serving. Ingredients are filtered water, reconstituted powdered coconut water, citric acid, mineral salt, natural flavouring, sweeteners, amino acids, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin B6 and vitamin B12. A whole bottle contains 105 kg of energy, or 25 kcal, no fats, of which 0 of that is saturates, obviously because there's none. 5 grams of carbohydrates, of which 2 grams are sugars, 0 grams of protein, 0.02 grams of salt, and a bunch of vitamins for your pleasure. So now that we've gone through all of that, the only real thing left to do is to try it. So let's pop this bad boy open. Smells very sweet. Like you'd expect, it smells like a raspberry juice or squash, but sweeter than I would normally expect. Yeah, they've really sweetened that up. It's not bad. It's weird, it simultaneously has a strong raspberry flavour and also not a strong raspberry flavour. I'll explain myself. There is a fairly strong raspberry flavour in this, but there's an even stronger sweetness added on top of that that is overpowering the raspberry. It's not that the raspberry is weak, it's clearly there, but it is not the dominant flavour. The dominant flavour is just sweet. It's nice, and I understand that sweetness is very much a desired flavour, especially here in the UK, where things like, our chocolate is sweeter in general than American chocolate and such things. We do enjoy the sweetness over here. Personally, I very much enjoy sweet flavour profiles. This is a little too sweet for me, I think. I can tell that there's a good, enjoyable flavour in here that is being stolen from me by that sweetness. I don't completely want the sweetness gone because, like I said, I do enjoy the sweetness, and without that, raspberry would just be too tart. You've obviously got to have a bit of sweetness in there. But yeah, it's a little too much. Not a lot too much. It is still enjoyable. But let's say this sweetness was at a 10, they need to dial it back to like a 6 to 8, somewhere in that range, just to give the other flavours a chance to shine through as well as. Again, not get rid of the sweet, but just dial it back a little bit. Okay, so after filming this video, I immediately transferred the files over to the computer for editing, and while doing that, I took another sip of the Prime, and I came to a realisation about it. When I was younger, I used to make my own isotonic energy drink, and it's very easy to make your own at home. You just get some squash, add sugar and salt to it. I realised on that second taste that that is pretty much what they've done here. The second time I tried it, I could taste that the extra sweetness that I was picking up in the video was because of salt that had clearly been added. For those of you who don't have this knowledge, salt, although not sweet in itself, can be used in small doses to enhance sweetness that is already in a product. So by adding a bit of salt, it makes the sweet sweeter. If you take another sip with the flavour profile of salt in mind, which I will do now. Yeah, you can tell that there's definitely salt in there. And again, that's not necessarily surprising or a bad thing. I mean, earlier on in the video, I even read through the ingredients and it said that it contained mineral salt or dipotassium phosphate. And yeah, it's sort of, you'd expect it in an energy drink. But I just wanted to point out that although that's not necessarily a negative on the review, it does explain the flavour. So I just wanted to slip that in here. It's not that they've added too much sweetness, it's that they've added too much salt, I feel, because not only is it overly sweet, but going back into it with the salt profile in mind, it does have a sort of saltiness to it, and I think that is somewhat diminishing the enjoyment. If they wanted to make it really sweet, then perhaps add a little bit more sweetener and a little bit less salt. Personally, I would have just added a little bit less salt and left it at that. I think it would be sweet enough. But again, sugar and salt are both required when it comes to isotonic energy drinks. It's part of the process of what gives you the energy. I'm not sure when it comes to quantities what is the best ratio for providing you what your body needs from it. So perhaps this is a conscious decision to give you the best outcome from the product. I don't know. I'm not an expert in any way in that sort of thing. I'm just reviewing the flavour of it. And in terms of the flavour, it's a little too salty. So yeah, just wanted to get the explanation in there, and now we can go back to Past Brad. Other than that, surprisingly, this is very nice. I will finish the bottle. Not right now, I'll save a bit for later. Might as well savour it because it won't be easy for me to get another one. But yeah, when you can find them in stock, Asda sell them for about £2. Now, it's one thing to say that it's a nice drink, and it is. But it's a completely different question as to whether or not it's worth the price. I'm going to say that although I do enjoy it, I would not be likely to buy it again for that price. I don't think it's quite worth that much. There are other drinks out there for the same price or less that I enjoy more. So no, I can't see myself buying another one of those again. I'm glad I got that one and tried it. Maybe if I can ever get my hands on the lemon, lime or orange, I'd consider giving those a go, because to me they're more enjoyable flavours, and I would like to see, particularly with lemon and lime, which can be a very tart flavour, how well the sweetness balances with that. That one would be interesting, more so than the orange really, although both, I'd give them both a go. Any of the other flavours, no, except maybe Metamoon, so I can sort of find out what the fuck that is. But no, if I find any of the other generic flavours, or if Blue Raspberry comes out again, I'm not likely to purchase another. It's nice. I'd gladly drink another if given to me, but I'm not going to buy it. But then again, if you can get your hands on one, feel free to make the purchase and try it for yourself. Don't take my word as gospel. Everyone's flavour profile is different. If you're a fan of sweet things, then this will definitely be up your alley, because that is the dominant flavour. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got to say on it. This is a nice, quick video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.